Okay, this is part 2 talk about our school basic curriculum development, school case analysis. We will talk about the tough question of quality and efficiency for schools. The first one is curriculum organization, curriculum implementation, and process assessment, and curriculum evaluation. The first one is the curriculum organization. They have the four question about talk about. The first one question is on coincidence with Hong Kong's aim of education. The seven learning goals and lasting trends of education development. How does the school plan its curriculum based on its development target? And students' learning needs to create space and opportunity for facilitation schools' whole pressure development. Okay, we are talking about the first one in talk about the in coordination with Hong Kong aims of education. First one is about the mobility. The target high motivation learning model mission in the school concept emphasize student autonomy educate and allow students to matrize in the learning process, which has focus, responsibility, and self-declaring attitude, encouraging student performance through the recognition, further rehand the intrinsic value and the self-actualization of good behavior. The second one is intelligence. Intelligence development. The school promotes the intellectual development of students through a variety of challenging tasks. Students are encouraged to develop critical and quick thinking skills through self-directed learning. Focus stress such as multisensory learning, hands-on activity, and the use of thinking tools. And they had not had a critical development, so we'll talk about social skills. Social development talk about group. Through the stage of learning, students learn cooperation and communication in a group, which facilitate the improvement of social skills. Like the picture one, the classroom design in the self-directed learning model in nice life-based learning situation, which helps students communicate with others and apply what they have learned in the real world, to some leader. And the first one is the artistic development. So the intelligence of the nature in art, such as the creation and appreciation of the poetry. The school encourages students to develop an artistic sense and the creative activities such as the image planning and children's poetry planning sharing meeting provide a platform for students to express and appreciate art. And the second part about the seven learning goals. This is the seven learning goal, and this school do not do the healthy lifestyle. The first one is the national identity. The school enhance student awareness and the identification with their national identity by incorporating local culture and school and history into the curriculum. For instance, by reading and discussing works by local Hong Kong authors, students can get a deep understanding of the local culture and social issues. And this one is the positive value and attitudes. Through school learning and social interaction with the curriculum, the school invests in the development of cooperation, respect, and responsibility. Students are encouraged to demonstrate positive attitudes and the value during their learning process. And the third one is the knowledge across learning areas. The school enrich student knowledge and experience in value learning areas through the challenge tasks and some multisensory learning activity, such as hands-on project in the future. And the fourth one is the language skill. With a force of Chinese language reading, plans, and the strategy application, the school practical learning stress language learning, includes skill in reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Students are encouraged to enhance their language ability through some interregional activities. And the fifth is the general skills. Through the target high motivated learning model, the school designed curriculum to creative student critical thinking, and the communication skills. And the next one is the reading and emotional literacy. The school prioritized the development for reading and information literature by integrating in class and the extracurricular reading activities such as book club and teaching stress by the reciprocal teaching, enhance student to reading skills and information process abilities. And the second one is about the education development. They had the 4 points. The first one is the moral and critical education. Utilize the target high motivation learning model to enhance student autonomy and sense of regardless. Not only boost their interest in learning, but also maintain their sense of the responsibility and some awareness. And the attitude include model education elements into the curriculum, such as good learning to focus, cooperation and respect, and frequent practice to motive positive behavior. And have the learning for reading, provide diverse and high quality reading resource, encourages students to explore different knowledge areas through the reading. In plan reading stage, taught to different genres, such as prediction and the question, to improve student reading comprehend and critical thinking. Example about project-based research. Encourage students to undertake project-based research, develop their research skills and ability for in-depth learning. Organize book activities such as a book club and sharing session to connect learning knowledge with the real world. Enhance the practicalities and the realities of learning. The next one is the information technology. Technical activity include information technology into teach use of e-learning tools and platform to promote interactive learning and fast access to information. Enable students to engage in self-directed learning and adapt to many learning styles such as the ratio of intelligent learning through some information technology. And this is how does school to 3 dimension of school-based curriculum. The first one is curriculum course. Target curriculum design, school design curriculum based on skill, background, or needs. For example, use the target high motivation learning model to create challenge and engage learning tasks, the stimulating student interest and the motivation. And the development stage-based learning arrangement. School design different learning activities according to the educational stage of student, from primary to secondary. Provide age appropriate priorities and activity to answer coherence and deep in the learning. And the practical teachers, professional development of teachers encourage teachers to prioritize in curriculum design and the implementation, enhance their in practice attitudes and the autonomy, and strengthen collaboration and environment with the teacher team. And the school aspect development. It is the Blue Circle. The Blue Circle enhances curriculum leadership and the tutority. School leader activity practice in curriculum design to ensure alignment with the school educational purpose and goal, while also improve teaching quality and student learning outcomes, and promoting to curriculum culture. among teachers, establish a supportive environment that encourages collaboration among teachers. So regular meetings, workshops, and joint teaching plans enhance communication and support among the future. And the treasuries of the local school, development right to maintain in education charities. The school stays opportunity of enrollment and improve the need and challenge of the modern education. Last one is the green one, is the professional development of teacher. Professional knowledge, it has teacher master of subject knowledge and teaching stages through ongoing professional training and research. And the activities, quality teacher patient of education of the commitment to student development, encouraging them to continue reflect on evaluate their teacher methods. And the professional autonomous supports teacher in exploring and expand their own creative idea in teacher practice, provide sufficient freedom and resource to adjust teacher plan based on the each student needs. And the last one is the learning creative space of opportunity based on the learning object of
So this part is about how does the school develop a broad and balanced curriculum and adopts the notion of the learning time to help students acquire rich learning experiences within and beyond their classroom and achieve their 7 learning goals. The first part is the target time motivation learning model. It integrates the 6 strategies into the plan and allows students to learn independently in the classroom and cultivates their self-study habits and attitudes, which provide an independent learning opportunities for them. And the next part is about the spiral learning style. In the planning, implementation, and assessment period is from child to deep, which is providing the diversified reading tasks. Students can develop their reading abilities and interests in the different learning process. So the plan is emphasizes the importance of the group learning, allowing students to cultivate and learn from each other through the cooperative learning, which is encourage the willingness for them to learn. And also, the teaching content of the curriculum is diversified in different learning situations, unit design, and the learning tools. And the next part is about the components of the learning time to help students acquire rich learning experiences. So the ultimate of the use of the school time is the learning is the learning experience of the school curriculum of students in school. This experience can occur in and outside the classroom, including the class, lunch, recess, and even after school time. So the first part is the lesson time with providing lesson time with the variety of the learning experience in part of the classroom, and then include the sharing sessions at the other school times. For example, providing some talks from the writers, and also providing e-learning resources for students to use in the after school time. And the next part is about how does the school adopt the learning content and formulate the appropriate learning and teaching strategies to cater the learner diversity. So the first part is through the target time motivation learning model. The challenging and interesting homework tasks are designed to stimulate the students' learning interests and motivations, and emphasis on the students' independent learning, allowing to have the rights, responsibility, and autonomy in their learning process, and cultivate their self-learning habits and attitudes. And by using the diversified learning activities to which is providing students with their diversified learning experience to take care of their students' differences and improve their general abilities and their self-learning abilities. And the next part is how to formulate the appropriate learning and teaching strategies. So according to the different articles, journals, and reading strategies framework explained to have the student practice reading strategies and improve their learning performance, and emphasis on their life-based learning situations. For example, their model learning on the growth and caring, which is encouraging their multi-sensory learning importance and high participation, and reporting their opportunities to promote students' interest in the learning results. So providing the trainings on the efficiency review, self-study strategies, and the thinking tools, and the experting note-taking techniques to help students to develop their learners' strategies and skills, which is combined in-class and the extracurricular readings and the readings activities to expand their students' reading skill, cultivates their reading interests and independent learning abilities. This one is about how does the school strengthen their curriculum interface according to their student needs at a different key stage. So the first part is developing our curriculum horizontally, including the three learning stage, which is from childhood and operating with an appropriate teaching contents and assessments. So based on the needs of the students of different learning stages, the school has designed a corresponding reading strategies framework to help students master their reading strategies and improve their learning performance. So they selected reading materials from different categories, such as some novels and poems, and conducted related teaching activities at the different times to ensure the coherence of the curriculum. So and with the reflection, from teachers within their different stage of teachings and learnings. A regular revisement of the teaching design is provided to strengthen their horizontal cohesion of the course. And this part is about how to develop their curriculum vertically based on the results of this curriculum. A transition plan of the upcoming years is formulated. One of the new measures is to design a vertical generate ability framework to gradually develop their students' generate abilities. So the implementation of the curriculum in primary 3 is providing a bridge in their different learning stages of students, and we organize their Chinese and book reading strategies, planning for their primary 1 to 6, and extend their experience of the mutual teaching, poetry creation to all grades of their to all grades to strengthen their horizontal connections of the curriculum.
Then we are going to talk about the curriculum implementation. The 10 steps model is used to discuss how the school implement its curriculum. They have reviewed 9 out of the 10 steps. For example, define the problem and clarify students' needs, etc. However, confirmed duties of teachers are not clearly shown. Further suggestions will be provided in the next page. In terms of administration, the responsibility and tasks of teachers need to be clearly stated in order to facilitate the implementation of the curriculum as a whole. Additionally, the work direction of the respective teacher should also be specified in the plan. It allows implementers to review it anytime and make necessary adjustments. According to EDB documents on SBC planning, the school has followed step-by-step teaching and is progressing gradually. The picture supports teachers have a clear organizational structure to implement, plan, and evaluate the whole learning process. As for communication and cooperation between different stakeholders, teachers communicate well with students to understand their interests, ability, and develop their self-learning ability. Speaking of the cooperation between teachers, they have established a curriculum planning team for sharing teaching experience and review. Interdisciplinary cooperation is also conducted with general study and visual art subjects. Besides, they also conduct many lessons, observations, and cooperation with other schools. Talking about the cooperation with technical support team, teachers have participated in SEED programs and professional training. They also design different out-school learning activities for students. For example, exchange and visa programs. Tellingly, teachers have shown a comprehensive and deep cooperation with different parties to enhance the teaching professionalism and learning efficiency.
Next, I will be talking about is the school able to effectively monitor the implementation of its curriculum to continuously enhance the quality of learning and teaching. According to performance indicators for Hong Kong schools for secondary, primary, and special schools 2022, it is said that the school is able to effectively monitor the implementation of the curriculum because the school has established a curriculum planning team, which the lead teacher will lead the remaining teachers to plan the curriculum. Also, the school has arranged lesson observation for other teachers to look at those Chinese teachers to conduct the Chinese class. Also, the school has arranged assessment on the lesson tasks, so the teacher will assign assessments to the students so as they can monitor the performance of the students to evaluate the effectiveness of the program. Besides, the school has collected feedback from teachers and students. As mentioned before, the teachers think that the curriculum is able to arouse the learning interest of students and they can really achieve active learning in long term. And the students have the feedback saying that they are looking forward to have Chinese class and they enjoy this type of teaching. At the end, the teacher, they did reflection on the lessons. They mentioned that having such a Chinese lesson also inspired them about the importance of active learning, and they're happy to teach students in such a meaningful class to arouse their learning interest.
Okay, so for how to strategy formulate to implement its assessment policy, including homework policy, the Education Bureau states that the quality of the assessment is the key rather than its quantity. So, 9 detailed steps are recommended to formulate an effective assessment policy. To summary the 9 steps, it will be quality, guidance, frequency, quantity, and feedback. For the type of the assessments, it should be stated by teachers which is done at home or before a lesson or after a lesson to hand in. And teachers may also state the type of the assessment that it may be short-term or long-term tasks that consolidate the students' learning. For the quality of the assessments should be assigned taking into the account of the students' abilities. Teachers should distinguish the normal students and the SES students with their abilities. And the homework or the assessment should not be memorization, medical copying, or drilling. And teachers should not use the assessments as a punishment. For the guidance, teachers should provide assessments to students with guideline and explanation to ensure that they have clear understanding of the topic. And teachers can also arrange tutorial periods to help and support students. Also, teachers should reduce the number of self-learning assignments that lack their guidance and feedback, so it can improve the learning efficiency of students. For the frequency of the assessment, after the assessment, students should have enough time for their socialization in other social activities like reading or praying. Teachers should give the assessment to strike a balance of the workload to give the time for pupils after school schedules. Okay, for the quality of the assessments, teachers setting the homework limits for each level across school is not appropriate, and the homework should be reasonable and not cause physical and mental strains on kids. So the teacher should assign the homework and assessments that is suited on their level. And for the final step of the evaluations, teachers should improve parents' school contents and active lesson to take into account on the opinions of parents. They should listen to the parents' opinions and change the assessment framework. And parents can also take the role to get in touch with the schools to find out what the kids really want to learn and what the progress are their kids. And for the teachers, they should mark the homework properly with grades and suggestion for students can review their comments and further improvement. For 5.3.2, how good is the teacher's assessment? Literacy. Assessments are related with curriculum and pedagogy to discover whether students have comprehend and learn the knowledge. And how to win whether students know whether students have learned will be discussed. Okay, for good teachers' assessment literature method, the teacher's assessment literacy should understand the strengths and weakness of the students' progressing learning, and teachers should provide quality feedback to students on how can they specifically improve their weakness. And teachers should evaluate the curriculum designs and learning and teaching practice frequently to review what should be done to improve their assessment literacy and make appropriate adjustment to enhance the learning and teaching effectiveness. Also, teachers should cater for diversity and guide students towards self-direct learning, and so it could be a good teacher's assessment literacy. Assessment methods. The first assessment method will be semantic assessments. It focuses on gathering evidence to indicate the learning outcomes to evaluate students' level of learning. And for the second assessment method, it will be formative assessments. It can be assessments for learning and assessment as learning. For the assessment for learning, it combines assessments with learning and teaching. For the assessment as learning, it encourages students to analyze their development by providing roles and responsibilities for learning and assessment.
As we can see the photo in the right-hand side, schools have used various assessment methods like presentation, portfolio, performance assessment, rubric, self-assessment, and peer assessment to evaluate students' performance and what they need. Also, teachers have received some portfolio and reaction to collect feedback. The comprehensive assessment of students' performance and provide opportunity for self-reflection and self-evaluation. These methods can show that they are able to assess student performance by adopting diversity modes. About the next question I will talk about is the school able to effectively collect the data and provide feedback and support time to time, which can enhance students' learning effectiveness. First, effective use of assessment information and data is essential to provide ongoing process of learning and development. It is used to discuss and clarify the learning outcomes. School analyze assessment data to identify patterns, trends, and areas of strength or improvement. High-quality instructional techniques are integrated with continuous assessment and feedback. During the project, integrating information in the middle of the plan can identify what have students gained inside the project. Also can find out which part should be improved. First, data analysis is important to collect assessment data. Classroom observations and student work. It can help teachers understand and identify student needs and gaps. After finding out this problem, teacher can adjust the teaching materials and increase the probability of reaching the goal. Next, this project has provided timely feedback for students. It has highlighted students' strengths and weaknesses. To separate the students which need additional help, teacher can provide tutoring or personalized learning plans for those students who require more attention. As I mentioned above, individual support that can have students catch up with their peers. Teachers have provided some tailor-made extra resources from knowing them through their notes. Also, offer one-on-one tutoring to encourage students to express their ideas and thoughts. The picture in the right-hand side is a process that helps teacher receive student opinion and personalize some notes from them. Furthermore, this project has provided different instructions for students to understand more about what they need to do and what they have to do. Diversity teaching methods and materials can engage student attention and participation in the activities. This kind of tailored instruction can maximize their learning effectiveness. That can increase the success of the project. Lastly, teachers have formulated and implement assessment policy from students' feedback. This can understand what have students perceived in this project. Students can express their ideas and thoughts after the project. The policy formulation is used here to collect the assessment, employed, granting standards, assessment weighting, and function of homework. It has highlighted the general concept, norms, and methods for evaluating student development. This kind of strategy can show how the project provides effective feedback and helps for students.
So for curriculum evaluation, the two QA questions are: how does the school evaluate curriculum implementation with a focus on the aims of students' whole person development? And how does the school make use of curriculum evaluation findings to inform curriculum planning? So how does the school evaluate curriculum implementation with a focus on the aims of students' whole person development? So the purpose is to enhance the appropriateness and suitability of course design and course content. The school aims to facilitate students' whole person development through integrated curriculum, for example, that of Chinese language and library studies, and in addition to experiential learning. The school also puts emphasis on cultivating students' moral development and to cultivate them to be kind, sincere, and courageous through life education, student support groups, and fellowship. The school has also put efforts on the development of service learning schemes, theme-based activities, learning communities, and resources-driven approaches. These all contribute to students enhancing whole person development. So the school, what does the school use as the means to evaluate curriculum implementation? They include formative assessments, summative written reports, teachers' self-evaluation, curriculum development committee, continuous annual evaluation, course evaluation meetings of both summative and formative, and students' reflection. So for formative assessments, examples are students writing on a theme-based topic for the poem creation. And for summative written reports, some are from the extracts of the annual reports of teachers' work based on subjects. And for teachers' self-evaluation, a large proportion of them agree that the new curriculum can enhance students' linguistics abilities and different skills on the topic of poem, and that they can have a higher ability to appreciate and to use the skills in other writing contexts. For curriculum development committee, it consists of the panel teacher of the Chinese language, together with teachers from other forms. They form the curriculum development committee, which they will have the teaching materials assortment and editing. They also will review on whether they can embed the target curriculum and theory in Chinese language subjects. They will also have regular course evaluation meetings for the exchange of ideas. And for students' reflection, it can be seen that the school has considered students' perspective when evaluating curriculum implementation. And some examples are to directly collect students' reflection by asking their opinion. However, the school hasn't interviewed teachers and students, and they have not given out questionnaires for students and parents. So it is recommended that interviews and questionnaires from students and parents can be conducted in other years, which can greatly enhance the rationality and appropriateness of course content. Data can be gathered and organized for discussion and analysis in further evaluation meetings.
So to sum up, these are some evaluation mechanisms the school has used and the effectiveness of evaluation. For formative assessment, it mainly focuses on students' learning outcomes, for example, peer evaluation, poetry creation, and reflection journal. And for summary written reports, it summarizes the impacts of the curriculum to students and teachers comprehensively. And for teacher self-evaluation, their self-evaluation has clear feedback that articulates teaching effectiveness and suggestions for progressive implementation. And for the curriculum development committee, Chinese language subject teachers form team to monitor and evaluate curriculum from time to time. They also have the continuous annual evaluation, and the school is effective in this part because they have the review of the subject-based report and the curriculum implementation, how's it going, and its progression in the annual report each year. And for course evaluation meetings, the teachers have reviewed the curriculum by instructional artifacts, professional development, and feedback, and students' reflection is also collected directly on how they learn about the module. And to sum up, it is suggested that interviews for teachers and students and questionnaires for students and parents can be conducted because qualitative data can provide in-depth information, and quantitative data can allow us to have some quantifiable learning outcomes, which help understand the status and issues during the course development process and explore possible causes and improvement strategies. For the SWOT analysis, the strength is that the SBC has clear visions and missions, and the school organized diverse activities to meet the needs of students. Learning tasks are able to develop students' self-learning ability, and they are achieved with good results with authentic formative assessment and learning attitude. But the weakness is that there are a lack of teachers' professional training and a lack of feedback from teachers, students, and parents to evaluate the effectiveness of the curriculum. However, there are also opportunities, which is some rising trend that are good for the SBC, which is the breaking through of the traditional teaching strategies. In this integrated curriculum promotes mutual learning and strengthens staff team cooperation and self-learning ability. More reading culture and habits can be promoted, and maybe the SBC, as described in the documents, can be extended to other primary levels. Also, teachers become a learning community and can be promoted to expand their connection, expand their existing connection to more schools. But the threat is that there will be increased workload for teachers with SBC requirement and extension to other primary levels if they wish to implement further in the years subsequently. And there are also changing government policies on teaching qualification and school assessment, which might lead to relocation of experienced staff of this SBC. And also, the rising trend of artificial intelligence might increase students' independence, might increase students' dependence on these technology and reduce their intention of active and autonomous learning. So these are our references, and this is the end of our part of 12 course.